Because what I'm about to do, you will never forget. And do you know, they still, to this day, the Jews celebrate Passover.
Amen.
They go through the process. They go through the sayings. They go through the scripture readings. And yet they do not realize that the Lamb has already been slain. That Messiah has come. And you don't have to wait any longer. Set it up as a memorial. I believe God's about to do something that's going to make us stand back and take notice and say, I told you what I was going to do. Did I not promise and did I not say I would do it? And we're going to sit back and say, oh. Psalms 126, one of my favorite Psalms, says, when he turned our captivity as men aside, we were like them that dreamed. It said the heathen said, the Lord has done great things for them. And all of a sudden it dawns on them, Virginia, yeah, the Lord has done some great things for us.
Yes, sir.
Can I tell you something? We're about to be in the days of Habakkuk, verse 1 and 5. He said some things are going to happen that will astound you in your generation and make your head spin. I'm not saying he's about to come back. We've been saying that for years. His coming is closer now than it's ever been. But I believe we're standing on the verge of a move of God that is unprecedented, undeniable, and unshakable.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
When you've got churches coming together in unity, like we have in this community, that's one of the things that astounds me to this day about moving here. You in Alabama, you're competing. You're doing everything you can to keep your folks from going over to somebody else's church to visit because you're afraid they're going to out-preach you and they're going to go over there. And then when somebody gets wind, oh, you don't know how many times I've heard people say, oh, I talked to the district overseer. Guess who was at your church Sunday? Yeah, I know who was at my church Sunday. Over here, it's not like that. Brother Dwayne's got the same desire I've got. To see people brought into the kingdom and to see a move of God. He told us yesterday morning there was 25 men gathered over here at Lucerne Church of God. I've marked my calendar. I'm going to be there next time. When you get 25 men from different denominations to say, we're coming together to see God, something is up, folks. When you've got a pastor who says, let's come together and let's have a revival together, there's something happening. Yeah. When we're not worried about whose church we're going to be at and what's going to happen, if we're just concerned about Him coming, that's what matters.
Amen. Thank you.
Am I making sense this morning, folks?
Come on, brother. Come on.
We have forgotten the sacrifice of the Lamb. Don't you ever forget. If you look at the way that it hits the doorpost and forms a cross, they couldn't forget what He did. How many of us have gotten saved and got over it? We remember the joy we had when we first got up from that altar, and we knew we were changed. And all of a sudden, over the years, over time, we've gotten calloused and cold because we got used to Him. I don't want to ever get used to Him. I don't want to ever say He's going to be here and take it for granted. Because how many knows one day we're going to show up, and if we're not expecting Him, He ain't going to be here. One of the most terrifying verses in the Bible to me is when God took His presence from Hezekiah to test him. That's a scary place to be in. I need His presence now more than I ever have. We've got a song right now Misty plays over and over again. I posted on Facebook the other day, Natalie Grant, your presence is my weapon. And I know you ain't going to believe this, but Aubrey, that song will come on and Aubrey will get calm all of a sudden. The next thing you hear in the background is her singing, your presence is my weapon. Can I tell you something? If I can get them to understand that His presence is a weapon, how much more can I We need to get it in our spirits. His presence is the greatest weapon we have against all this mess going on. I posted on Facebook yesterday. This is not a Democrat versus Republican. This is not political ideology versus anything else. This is not denomination and movement versus denomination and movement. This is the enemy moving, plain and simple. And it's time for us as the church to take our rightful place and go into battle and say, we have the victory over this. We've got the bloodstained banner.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Lord.
And with it, we can conquer anything. Constantine supposedly had a vision of the cross. And he said, from now on, that's the emblem we're going to fight under. And the cross became the national emblem of Rome. Why can't we do that in the church? Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Anybody want to partake of the Lamb this morning? Anybody want the Lamb in your life this morning?
Yes, sir.
How many want him on a regular basis, not just coming into church on Sunday morning and Sunday night? I want him to be able to speak to me as I'm going down the road.
Yes.
I want him to be able to speak to me in every room of my house.
Sir.
Because he's not limited to here. The church is limited for so long, he's not limited to here.
Amen.
But until the church gets a fresh revelation of the Lamb, they won't see it. And now more than ever, they need to see the Lamb lifted up. I was singing this old song this morning. I was guilty with nothing to say. And they were coming to take me away. Then a voice behind me was heard that said, let him go and take me instead. And I should have been crucified. And I should have suffered and died. I should have hung on the cross in disgrace. But Jesus, God's Son, took my place. The crown of thorns, the spear in his side. All the pain, it should have been mine. Those rusty nails were meant for me.
Yes.
But Christ took them. And he let me go free. I can't speak for you, but I've had a fresh revelation of the Lamb in the last 2 days. Now more than ever, we must plead the blood. We must apply the blood to the doorpost, not only of our hearts, but to the doorpost of the house.
Amen.
You ain't got to get up from your seat, but I dare you to begin to apply the blood over your house. I dare you to begin to apply the blood over your kids, over your grandkids.
Amen.
We're going back old school. We're going to plead the blood.
Hallelujah.
That's the secret to this, guys. The secret to making it through coronavirus, because I got news for you. The coronavirus can't cross the bloodline.
Amen. Amen.
Plead the blood. Come on, saints. We're Pentecostal. Act like it. Plead the blood. Go to war. Do like those old saints did in the altar. Get a hold of the throne and don't let go. I plead the blood over every house represented today.
Amen. Please.
I plead the blood. Father, our president has called for a national day of prayer. Well, I'm calling for a national declaration of war. That we go to war and we begin to plead the blood and use the weapons we were given.
Lord.
I plead the blood over Hudson Chapel. I plead the blood over Reed's Chapel.
Amen.
I plead the blood over Decatur. I plead the blood over every church, First Baptist, Methodist, everybody that calls themselves a believer. God, every one of our kids, we plead the blood over them now. Over our grandkids, God, we plead the blood, God. And right now, I take authority over the spirit of fear that has come across a community that has lost its mind. I declare that we will have the mind of Christ. That we will be a calm and collected people. And that when asked, why are we so calm? Why are we so collected? We will say, because of the Lamb. We plead the blood this morning, God. There's no other answer for this than the blood. Forgive us, Master, where we have neglected the Lamb. Where we have neglected the price and the benefits that came all included. Oh, come on, church. Plead the blood. Don't stop. Don't stop. There's a breakthrough in the atmosphere. Some of your kids hadn't been to church in years. Some of your grandkids hadn't graced the door of a church. Some of them say they go to church and they don't have a relationship. Begin to plead the blood. God, let the Lamb become a reality once again in our lives. Thank you. Oh, come on, church. We used to be a prayer church. We used to be the one that nothing touched. We've grown soft in our pews. We've grown soft and comfortable. Somebody get a hold of God this morning. Come on. Somebody's life is hanging in the balance this morning. We need the Lamb. We need the Lamb. We need you. We need the Lamb this morning. We need the Lamb. He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. And surely he bore our sorrows. And by his stripes we are healed.
Jesus, Jesus. Bless you, Father. Bless you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Can you see the Lamb this morning? Somebody once told me, said that's all it takes for revival to break out. Is for somebody to get the fresh revelation of the Lamb.
Praise the Lord. Praise His holy name. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you.
Such a presence right now. I'm not even going to dismiss. As you feel like you can leave, leave.